couple of big green news for you, coming straight out of my favorite park in Berlin, where I'm currently at. First out, Volta Greentech. I had never heard of it. They extract something from a seaweed somewhere in Thailand or whatnot, and they're able to produce something that, when you feed it to cows, decrease the methane emissions. So basically they fart less. This may sound like a quirky thing, but it's actually huge. I think they can affect some 4% of carbon emissions or something with this. So interesting one. They just got an investment now from a couple of well-known business angels in Sweden, among them Peter Karlsson, one of my former board members. So he's the guy who builds the Northvolt factory, if you don't know him. But also some others. So not a big investment, but an important one. It could be. Keep an eye on them. I will. And then an American one called Hazel Technologies that I had actually also not heard of before, but I looked at it now. They produce some sort of sachets that go into food packaging, and they can, I think, triple the shelf life of food based on, I think they release some vapor or whatever it is. Of course, quite drastic as well if you can do that. They already are showing producers that they are doing it, so it's sort of a proven thing, and they've now gotten, I think, some $18 million to take this to fully commercial scale. So interesting stage they're in, and let's see what happens with that. That could potentially decrease food waste by quite a bit, of course. Third one, called Cambridge Crops, I think. Obviously comes out of Cambridge. I think it's an MIT innovation for starters. And that is it's like a coating that you put on food. Silk-based, completely edible, natural, of course. And apparently that also increases shelf life quite drastically of food. They have to, of course, add it on somehow into the supply chain, into the production line, so to say, of food. So that's a little bit more early stage, but also interesting technology, of course. And just one more thing that I find quite fun. Swedish company has developed the first bike recycled Nespresso pods is what they've used as the raw material. So some 300 Nespresso pods went into making this bike. It looks pretty cool, the design of it. It's purple, just like the Nespresso pod. And it's a lot of Nespresso pods that you can imagine. I think it's billions of Nespresso pods that go into landfill each year. So this is one attempt at doing something with them, which I think is to be applauded, I guess. Yeah. As I said, cool design. It goes for a little bit over €1,000. I mean, it's not cheap. But on the other hand, the company gives away one bike to a schoolgirl in a developed country for every bike they sell. I think that's pretty cool as well. So go, guys. Or girls, but I think it's a guy who was in charge of it. So anyway, there's more coming up. I'm in Berlin. They're considering a meat tax here. You've probably heard that from several other places. But, you know, the last UN report clearly showed we have to go away from the meat-based diet that we're currently on into more plant-based. That trend is already happening. But yeah, so here the Green Party has now suggested softly, testing it out, I think, to actually add a meat tax. But what they're really doing is decreasing the subsidy. Because right now meat here in Germany is at some 7% VAT, and I think the other food is some 18%. So in reality, they would just be removing a subsidy. Merkel's party was a little bit positive towards it. So let's see. Some were against, of course. I think the Agricultural Association were against it. So I don't know. It's an interesting approach if it happens. That trend is, as I said, already happened. So we'll keep an eye on that, and let's talk soon again. Bye.